Hi guys, and welcome back to Xavier's World. How you guys doing today? Today guys, I want to talk about another cool animal, and it's a ferret. Now, again, I don't own a ferret, but I have several friends who have ferrets. And they're always constantly sharing photos, information about them, and they're just really neat animals. However, there's a few things that I don't think I would ever get a ferret. Not saying that I don't like them, but there's just a few things that I don't like that would probably drive me crazy if I got one. But let me tell you just a few little fun facts about ferrets, okay? Some of my friends that have the ferrets have also shared some of their thoughts and opinions and tips and advice that I'm going to share with you guys in this video. But I just wanted to share with you guys for what knowledge that I know. All right, ferrets are very notorious little creatures. They are very mischief. That they will get into things, and they are known to steal things. Yes, they are. A friend of mine said that her ferret, because she's got like 7 ferrets right now, and she's got a whole room dedicated, built for them, said she left her car keys on the table where her and her husband always put their keys and their stuff when they come home from work. Well, one of her little mischief little guys decided to grab her car keys and go hide them. Now, she was pissed when this happened because that was her only set of keys. And she was so mad that this little turd hid her keys. And she finally found the keys, but it was 6 months later she found the keys. But that's something you have to take into consideration. So don't leave anything out very valuable, because they will grab it if they get their little paws on it and run with it and hide. Sometimes they can hide it in your walls. If you have a hole in your wall, they will go in the wall and go hide it. Because my friend has found stuff in the wall behind her washer and dryer, and she didn't know there was a hole back there. So you just have to take that, because ferrets are very known to do that. Ferrets are, like I said, very mischief. They will climb up on things. If there's tight spaces, holes in the wall, anything like that, they will get in and they will climb up onto it. But ferrets are very smart animals. They're very loving, cuddly. That both of my friends have said that ferrets need constant supervision when you let them out and run freely, because they get into stuff that they're not supposed to. They will knock things over, like I said. They will steal things and hide things. They think it's funny. She said that they're very smart. You can teach them to catch a ball. You can teach them to... She said some of her ferrets, they're not fighting. They're very playful. They'll chase each other, and they'll get into like a rolling match. They'll roll on the floor. She said that's just the way they are. But she said if you startle them and scare them, they can bite. But most unlikely they won't. Because ferrets are not known as aggressive animals. Unless you abuse them and beat them and treat them like crap, then of course they're going to be mean. But if you just give them lots of love and, play with them like a kid or whatever, then you're not going to have any problem with them. They're just going to be happy little guys. Now, their lifespan is between 6 to 10 years. They can live that long. And they do sleep between 12 and 18 hours a day. But they can adapt to their humans' routine. So if you're up during the day, they can be up during the day, and if you're go to bed at night, they can go to bed at night. So she said they can adapt to that. And also people from the pet store that sells ferrets, that they also said the same thing, that they can easily adapt to your lifestyle. There are certain things you can and can't feed ferrets. You can't feed them fruits and vegetables, which is a no-no. They're highly active and need daily interaction. So when I say they're high maintenance, my friend says in a way they are high maintenance in a different way than you're thinking of high maintenance. They need a lot of interaction. They need a lot of one-on-one human interaction. They need that playtime. They have the life expectancy up to 8 years, which we've already known that. Ferrets are incredibly social small mammals. Their intelligence is very remarkable. Like I said, they can easily teach them to do tricks, roll over, fetch, just like a dog. Okay, like a rat. You can do the same thing with a rat. They're, like I said, it says right here, they're curious and mischief. They are. Feed them cat food. You can feed them cat food. And they need fresh water daily. Although you want a wire cage for your ferret, you want to make sure that it has multiple levels. A friend of mine has it's a rat cage, but it has 3 levels, and she bought 3 of them, and I mean, it's like the whole length of this wall behind me, and she has connected with wire, so she's connected them together, and she's cut a hole into them so that they could run through and run back and forth, so they have plenty of room to climb. And because she's got 7 ferrets, I think right now. I think she might have totally 8 of them, but one of them is about to die because it's getting so old. And she said he's not playing, he's sleeping a lot, and she just thinks he's ready to go because he's getting really old and he's got arthritis, and I feel bad for him, you know. And the only thing about ferrets, I'm going to also tell you this, that my friends have told me about ferrets, that they do have an odor, and that is just their breed. It is a smell that you cannot get rid of. It is just something that's in them. You know, you wash them, you give them a bath and stuff, but it's not good to give them a bath a lot. You just give it to them every once in a while. But I'm not sure I don't know if you can, when they're born, I think my one friend told me that you can have them descented, but they will still have a scent. You know, they'll still have a smell. It's a musky smell. Now, if you don't have a problem with that smell, then fine. But just be aware of that they have this musky smell. Some people can stand it, some people can't. Like I said, you would have to really, really be dedicated and devote a lot of time to them. You know, if you work a lot and you're gone a lot, then a ferret is not good for you. Because a ferret needs constant attention. They need to get out. They need to be interactive. They need to interact with their human. They need playtime. They need to get out of their cage. They need that constantly. So if you're a kind of person who works all day and is not home all the time, then you shouldn't get a ferret. But if you're a stay-at-home wife, husband, or you know, you work from home, then get a ferret, you know. But just take that into consideration about them. They need a lot of supervision if you have them out. You need to watch them very closely because, again, they will pick up things, they will steal things, and go hide them. So you may end up losing your car keys for 6 months to a year, depending on if you could ever find them wherever they hide it. So just remember that. Just remember that. Because it's happened to my friends, and they've gotten mad. They will grab things. Like I said, they're curious little things. They're mischief. They will get into things that you don't want them to get into. They're smart little suckers. That's what my friend calls them. Little thieves is what she calls them. I think she calls one of her ferrets Sticky Bandit because he's a sticky little bandit. He just takes things. She said one time she found behind her washer, there was a hole in the wall behind the washer. She saw something hanging out. She said there was a pile this freaking huge of like her pearl necklace, some rings, some car keys, just a variety of different things. And she's like, what the hell did he do? You have to remember that. Ferrets are well known to do that. Some people might find it funny, but then there are times people are not going to find it funny when they take certain things that you depend on, that you need. So, just take that into consideration about ferrets. Ferrets, again, like I said, are very intelligent. They're extremely smart. You can train them like a dog to go fetch things, to get things. You know, a friend of mine has them on a harness sometimes when they're out, because, you know, it's a long leash, and she puts it on a harness to kind of keep it close by because he's notorious to getting into stuff and taking things. So, do I think ferrets make a good pet? Yes, they make a good pet. They're fun. Just take into consideration also, too, that they do have a musky smell. Just to let you guys know. I don't know how to describe it, but they said it's musky. So, I don't know. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video about ferrets. If you have a ferret, leave a comment down below and let me know what is one of the mischief things that your little ferret has done. I would love to hear the stories because I think it's just kind of interesting to hear. So, yeah, again, I hope you like this. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please hit that bell so you'll be notified when we upload a video. And I will see you guys back here next time on Xavier's World. Until then, remember, God loves you.